Madam President, thank you very much for finding the time to talk to our channel, Al Jazeera. Now, December 29th is the last day of your term in office. There will be another president inaugurated on that day. You said earlier that you're not planning to vacate the post. Is this still your plan?
Well, it's not a plan, it's a fact. Because the elections that elected the parliament were not free and fair elections. They were stolen elections, hence the parliament is not legitimate. The parliament is a one-party parliament where the political parties of the opposition that participated in the elections did not enter because of the stolen elections. So this makes the whole exercise not legitimate. Including the designation of the president and then his inauguration or whatever. My mandate by constitution runs until the time when a president is inaugurated, but it has to be a legitimate president. So my mandate will run as long as there is no new elections, and by the new elections a new parliament that will elect a legitimate president. And then, with pleasure, I'll step down.
Do you see the possibility that you might be forced into exile?
No. I'm not going to be in exile. I don't think that that's a place where you can stay with your people. If I think that it's necessary to have a legitimate president, it's because I think that this country needs, at this very crucial time of crisis, needs continuity. And needs stability, and the only state continuity is incarnated by a president that has been elected by the people, not by a parliament that has not received legitimacy. So for that reason, this continuity, I need to stay in the country.
We have seen more than 2 weeks of protests in Tbilisi and across other cities of the country. What effect have these protests had?
What we are seeing is a very massive movement, because it was never the case before. We've had many protests in this country, but never before was it so extended to the different cities in the country. The feeling and the sense in the population is that we are at a real turning point. Either this struggle succeeds from the population to resist this, or we will enter into a regime that will be more or less the Russian regime of Putin.
You have called earlier for international pressure and sanctions to be applied against members of the government.
I've been calling for support for this movement and for putting pressure on authorities that are now relying on pure repression that sometimes turns into torture, because that's the qualification that the public defender has given to the acts of the police forces, of the repressive forces, because there is a difference here between the real police force and the men in black that are used for these practices.
Do you think Georgia still has a chance to become a member of the European Union?
Oh, the chance to become a member, I think that Georgia has everything, and the population that you see on the streets is a very European population. And they are defending their European future as I think no European country would defend it. So yes, the reasons to join the European Union and the readiness both in mentality and in will exists. If the society and the population becomes the winner, which I think it will, then the European path is there.
Finally, do you think you might run for President of Georgia again?
I have learned one thing in my life, which is to never say never.
Madam President, thank you very much for your time.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.